the Howa Mini, and how you can improve it a little bit on what is an already good rifle. There's a couple of things with it. It's a budget built rifle, but it's quite good quality for what you're getting. One of the two things with it are the forestock is quite flexible. It's being a plastic stock, it's quite flexible. And the other thing that there's a couple of other things people run into. The magazine catch is a little bit long for some people, and they're having problems dropping magazines. And what people are finding is happening as well is when they're tightening the action into the stock, they're splitting the plastic, this bottom plastic. So just a couple of things. This is a stock that I've got, and this is my actual rifle. This one's had the mods done to it. Now it's before I did the trigger guard bottom plastic mod. Since doing that, I've got some custom bottom metal for it. I can't remember what brand it is, but you can see first of all the magazine catch. This is a factory one. It sticks out a bit and tends to get caught on things. A lot of people just cut it off, cut a bit of it off to make it a bit shorter so it doesn't catch as easily on things. This custom one, you can see it's already been cut, or it comes out like that. It's just a bit shorter. So that's one thing that the people do to them. I didn't bother doing it to this because I never found that I had problems catching it on things and dropping mags. What I did with this, I haven't done it with this black stock, I've done it with the green stock. In here you can see there's cavities in the stock. It's to make it a bit lighter, I guess, but that's where you're kind of getting the flex. So what you do with the cavities, within the cavities here, what I've done is you scratch it up really well in here, inside the cavity, in all the plastic, give it a good scratch up down in there. And what that does is gives some resin to something to key onto, because if you don't do that, because what you're actually doing is you're just filling this channel in with resin. So you sit the stock up so it's nice and level, and I usually fill it to about, there's a little step here in front of where the recoil lug rests. There's a little step just down in front of the front takedown hole. I fill it to about that full of resin. If you don't scratch it up, it won't last there very long, and it'll end up coming out and rattling around in your stock, and then it's not doing the job. Some people will put steel rods and stuff in there. I didn't bother. I just filled it with resin, and it's done quite a good job, stiffened it up quite nicely. The other thing is, what I originally did before I got this custom metal for my one is take this plastic off. So already you've got not a bad design, as you can see. It's got what they call pillars in the stock. These steel tubes that run all the way through the stock, or what's called pillars, and they stop the stock crushing when you're trying to tighten the action down into the stock. The only problem is with this crushes when you're tightening it down, so kind of defeats the purpose a little bit. So what I did is put basically little mini pillars in the plastic. You see it there in both ends. Very simple, and it works real well. all you do is you find yourself some steel tube that fits over the takedown bolt quite nicely. Measure the outer diameter of the tube, drill the plastic trigger guard just so I drilled it so it was just a nice tight press fit. I could just still press it in with my fingers, but there was no other movement. Sand the outside of the tube up, give the inside of the hole that you drilled a tiny little bit of a sand up, roughen it up, same thing, so the glue's got something to stick to. And then I just carefully trimmed it to the thickness of the plastic, and then I've just JB welded it into the trigger guard, and that works real well. I didn't have any problems with it. If I hadn't have come across this custom steel guard here, I'd still be using this. It was a real good mod, and worked really well. So there you go. There's a couple of cheap modifications you can do to your Howa to improve what is already a pretty good rifle. Thanks for looking.